This video explores the critical aspects of ethics in psychological research, focusing on both human and non-human subjects. Delve into the principles that guide researchers in ensuring the dignity and safety of all involved. The British Psychological Society and the American Psychological Society are key bodies in psychology. They establish ethical guidelines for research and practice. These organizations ensure that psychologists adhere to high ethical standards. Their guidelines cover a wide range of ethical issues. They play a crucial role in maintaining the integrity of the field. Ethical research with humans requires informed consent. Participants must voluntarily agree to take part in the study, fully aware of what it involves. This includes receiving clear, accessible information about procedures, potential risks, benefits, and their right to withdraw at any time without penalty. Participants must understand the study's purpose and risks. Researchers are obligated to explain the goals of the research in simple terms. Any possible discomfort, inconvenience, or emotional impact should be disclosed so participants can make an informed decision. Deception, if used, must be minimized and followed by debriefing. In rare cases where deception is necessary to preserve the integrity of the research, it must not cause harm or distress. After the study, a thorough debriefing must clarify the true nature of the research, explain the reasons for the deception, and address any concerns. Privacy and confidentiality are paramount. Researchers must handle all personal data with care. Identifiable information should be kept secure and anonymous where possible. Participants' identities and responses should not be disclosed without explicit permission. Researchers must protect participants from harm at all costs. This includes safeguarding physical, psychological, and emotional well-being. Ethical review boards assess studies in advance to ensure risks are minimized, and that the welfare of participants is the top priority throughout the research process. Milgram's experiment tested obedience to authority. It raised ethical concerns due to psychological stress on participants. The study highlighted the need for debriefing. It questioned the balance between scientific inquiry and participant welfare. Milgram's work remains a cornerstone in ethical discussions. Ethical issues arose from the intense psychological impact. Participants in the Stanford prison experiment experienced significant emotional distress, with some showing signs of anxiety, depression, and extreme stress. The unexpected intensity of the situation raised concerns about participant welfare. Zimbardo's prison simulation explored power dynamics. The study aimed to investigate how individuals conform to roles of guards and prisoners in a simulated prison environment. It revealed how quickly people adapt to authority roles and how power can lead to abusive behavior. The study lacked adequate safeguards for participants. There were no clear procedures in place to protect participants from harm or to monitor their well-being. The experiment was allowed to continue even when ethical boundaries were clearly being crossed. It emphasized the importance of ethical oversight. The lack of immediate intervention during the study highlighted the need for independent review boards and stricter ethical guidelines to protect human subjects in psychological research. Zimbardo's experiment is a key case in ethical debates. It is frequently cited in discussions about research ethics, informed consent, and the responsibilities of researchers. The experiment led to significant reforms in ethical standards, including the requirement for more rigorous review processes. Socially sensitive research can impact vulnerable groups. Stanley and Sieber emphasized ethical considerations here. Researchers must balance knowledge gain with potential harm. Ethical guidelines help navigate these challenges. Sensitivity and ethics are crucial in such studies. Research with animals requires humane treatment. Ethical guidelines ensure minimal stress and harm. Justification for animal use is essential. Researchers must provide proper care and housing. The principles of replacement, reduction, and refinement guide ethical animal research. Therapists must remain value-neutral and non-directive. They should not impose personal beliefs on clients. This ethical stance respects client autonomy. It fosters a safe and supportive therapeutic environment. Value neutrality is a cornerstone of ethical therapy. Power dynamics must be carefully managed. Informed consent is a cornerstone of ethical research. Participants must voluntarily agree to partake. They need to understand all aspects of the study. Researchers must ensure consent is truly informed. This process protects participant rights and dignity. Deception can sometimes be necessary in research. Ethical guidelines require minimizing its use. Participants should be debriefed afterwards. The balance between deception and ethics is delicate. Researchers must justify the need for any deception. Protecting participant privacy is crucial in research. Respecting individuals' rights to control their personal information is a fundamental ethical obligation. Breaches of privacy can cause harm, mistrust, and legal consequences. Confidential information must be handled with care. This includes names, responses, contact details, and any identifying data. Researchers must store this information securely, using encrypted files and secure databases, and limit access to authorized personnel only. Ethical guidelines ensure data protection. Standards set by institutions and regulatory bodies, such as the British Psychological Society or APA, require researchers to follow strict protocols for data storage, sharing, and disposal, including compliance with data protection laws like GDPR. Researchers must maintain confidentiality at all times. They should avoid discussing participant details publicly or with unauthorized individuals. When publishing results, data should be anonymized so that individuals cannot be identified. Privacy safeguards participant trust and integrity. When participants feel confident their information is secure, they are more likely to be honest and cooperative. Upholding privacy strengthens the credibility of the research and the ethical standards of the scientific community. Researchers must protect participants from harm. Ethical guidelines provide a framework for this. Physical and psychological safety are priorities. Intervention plans must be in place for potential harm. Protecting participants is a fundamental ethical obligation. Ethical research requires approval from an ethics board. The Institutional Review Board evaluates study proposals. It ensures adherence to ethical standards. Researchers must obtain this approval before proceeding. This process safeguards ethical integrity. Participants should never feel coerced into research. Ethical guidelines protect against undue influence. Voluntary participation is a key ethical principle. Researchers must ensure freedom of choice. Coercion undermines ethical research practices. Respecting participant autonomy is crucial in research. They should have the right to withdraw anytime. Ethical guidelines emphasize this autonomy. Researchers must respect participant decisions. Autonomy is a pillar of ethical research. Fairness is central to ethical research. Animal research must prioritize humane treatment. Ethical guidelines minimize stress and discomfort. Researchers must justify animal use and provide care. The principles of the 3 R's guide ethical practices. Humane treatment is essential in animal research. Animal research requires strong justification. Researchers must provide clear reasons why animal use is essential for the study. This includes explaining how the research contributes to scientific knowledge, health advancements, or practical applications that cannot be achieved otherwise. Ethical guidelines demand scientific merit. Studies involving animals must have a well-defined purpose and be based on sound scientific principles. Ethics committees assess whether the potential benefits of the research outweigh the risks and costs to the animals involved. Alternatives should be considered to replace animal use, the principle of the 3 R's replacement. Reduction and refinement guides ethical animal research. Researchers are expected to explore non-animal methods such as computer models, cell cultures, or human volunteers wherever possible. Researchers must demonstrate the necessity of their methods. They are required to show that no viable alternative exists and that the use of animals is the most appropriate and effective way to address the research question. This includes justifying the species and number of animals used. Justification is critical in ethical animal research. Without solid ethical and scientific rationale, studies may be denied approval. Proper justification ensures that animal welfare is respected and that the research upholds the highest ethical standards in science. Transparency in research is crucial for ethical integrity. Researchers must report methods and results openly. Ethical guidelines require transparency in animal studies. This practice builds trust in scientific findings. Transparency ensures accountability in research. Animals used in research require post-study care. Ethical guidelines ensure their well-being after experiments. Rehabilitation or rehoming should be considered. Researchers have a duty of care even after studies conclude. Post-study care is vital for ethical animal research. In conclusion, ethical integrity is the foundation of all psychological research. Ethical considerations in research ensure the well-being of all involved. Researchers must adhere to guidelines for informed consent and harm minimization. Both human and animal studies require strict ethical oversight. Transparency and accountability are key in maintaining trust. Thank you.